Okay, this is a video where I'm going to be gluing in the last row of hardwood flooring. In this case, it's under this heating baseboard, so it's well under it, and it's only about a 1-inch piece. I can't get a nail in here, so I'm just going to put some glue on it, and then see how that does. This particular piece here is really, it's the slot that it's fitting in here is tapered. So it has a slight taper to it. So I was able to drop that piece in on this side, and then as I slid it down towards that side, it eventually gets extremely tight, and it's right up against the wall. I can only pry open a small amount here. That's where I'm just going to glue this section. Hopefully that'll just keep this whole piece together. It seems as though it's not going to have too much stress on it to move, but I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm just going to try it. I'm going to hit pause, and we're just going to squeeze glue in there, and I'm just going to pull it closed with, I have a small hook. In this case, I can actually reach into the back side of the board, and I can get that hook down on the gap, and I can pull it, and I'm going to see how that works. Okay, I'll hit pause, and then we'll see what we got. Okay, first I have squeezed the glue down into the crack, and I just push it down with my finger, and I'm letting it seep down in there. What's on the surface I'll wipe off afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to release this, and I'm going to squeeze it, and then I'm going to wipe it down. Okay, I squeezed the gap with the pick, and the boards, it came together pretty nicely. Now I'm just going to wipe off that excess. And then I'll clean it up and we'll see how it looks. Okay, I wiped the glue off. Now hopefully enough of that glue has sunk in down into that channel to basically form a bond there. It would have been nice if I had the glue, of course, in along the entire length, but I'm doing this after the fact. There is, I still have another piece to go here. So on this piece, I do have the opportunity of putting the glue in over the entire length, which I'm going to do, and then I'm going to slide it in, and I'm going to basically do the same sort of thing. I'll hit pause, I'll apply the glue. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I put in glue all the way up down through the channel. It's actually probably quite a bit, and the reason I did that is because I found it was really easy to wipe it off the surface of the, because it did not stick to the polyurethane at all. Of course, the wood in the tongue and groove section doesn't have the polyurethane on it, so the idea is that if this glue does get squeezed into this entire section, it could form a reasonable bond, and that might keep the this piece from floating. Okay, what I did find when I did put the piece in there without gluing it, that it did have a tendency to separate because this channel is a little bit wider. It's not wedged in, and for whatever reason it wouldn't stay in place, so I came up with this idea of gluing it in. So now I'm going to try sliding it in place. I'll hit pause. Okay, you can kind of see that I'm sliding it in. It's going to be a really tight fit because the width that I cut it does not leave a lot of extra room at the side, but I have had it in there before and actually got it out, so I believe I am going to be able to pop this in place. Of course, when you cut it, you have to leave at least as much space as the tongue width, otherwise you'd never be able to get it in. Okay, I'll hit pause and try forcing it in. Okay, you can see I'm basically driving it in with these blocks. I still haven't quite got it in far enough to drop down on the tongue, but it looks like it's going to work. Let me just try to keep going. Okay, well, it took some pounding, but you can see I have got it in there. Once you, it was very tight, but I just kept pounding on it with basically a mallet, and I use some of these scrap as blocks so as to not damage things too badly. Okay, and I actually use my hardwood flooring mallet. Anyway, I just kind of got some mallets to tap it in. Now that I have it in there, the next position is to position it. And to do that, I have to slide it from left to right. That's how it fits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge it in position. Then I will pull it with my little hook and try to close this gap up. Okay, and then hopefully the glue will set. Okay, well, this is what I managed to do. I put it into position, and then I've just basically placed in devices that I can apply some leverage, tending to pull it out. Now, the reason why there's an issue here is because you can see it's actually tight on this end, but there's a slight bow, so it doesn't want to be tight. And looking ahead of time, if you do have some pieces at the end that you want to put it under something like this, it helps if they're extremely straight. Then they don't fight you. Normally, on the middle of a hardwood floor, of course, this would just get nailed into position, but whether or not this is going to stay with the glue is anyone's guess. But I've got glue all along the tongue. I have it wedged, but still you can see the gap is a little bit is more than you normally would have, okay? But it's not, I would say, totally outrageous for something that's going to be completely under the baseboard. Okay, that spot, I could probably fill that in with something, you know, just some glue or some epoxy just to seal that up. And then I would have essentially achieved what I'm looking for. Now, I don't know if this is really the best way to do this. In this particular case, I have this board going almost all the way to the wall. According to the book, you're supposed to actually leave a gap. They even say as much as 3/4 of an inch all the way around.